life isn't broken because of bad timing. It's stuck because you are. Every morning, you wake up with the same intentions. Every night, you carry the same regrets. And somewhere between the two, you built a fortress of reasons why today couldn't be the day. But here's the truth. Nobody wants to say out loud, you're not waiting for the right moment. You're waiting for permission you'll never get. This isn't a pep talk. This is a declaration of war. You versus the voice that says, tomorrow. You versus the patterns that feel comfortable but keep you small. You versus every excuse that sounds logical but leads nowhere. The battle starts now. Not when you feel ready. Not when conditions improve. Now. Success starts when you take the wheel. Over the coming chapters, you're going to dismantle every excuse keeping you stuck. You'll build new rules, new rituals, and a new identity. Not through motivation. That fades. Through systems that work when you don't feel like it. This is you versus your excuses. Let's win this battle. Chapter 1. Radical Ownership. Nobody else is living your life. Stop giving them credit for ruining it. Picture this. You're scrolling through your phone at 11 p.m. You told yourself you'd start the side project tonight. But your boss dumped extra work on you. Traffic was terrible. Your partner needed to talk. By the time you sat down, you were drained. So you scroll. Tomorrow, you'll tell yourself the same story, different details, same result. Because the story isn't about what happened to you. It's about the deal you made with yourself. When things get easier, I'll start. Things never get easier. You get stronger. 3 core principles. 1. Blame is a loan you take from your future. Every time you point at circumstances, you hand away power. You might be right about what held you back, but being right doesn't move you forward. 2. Ownership isn't fair. It's functional. You didn't choose your starting point, your challenges, or your setbacks. But you choose what happens next. That's the only variable that matters. 3. The moment you say, "That's just how I am," you lock the cage. Identity isn't fixed. It's a story you keep telling. Change the story. Change the outcome. Blame feels good for 10 seconds and costs you years. Ownership feels heavy at first, but makes everything lighter. 5 concrete actions. Action. 1. Right now, name one thing you've been blaming on someone or something else. Say it out loud. Then say, "I'm taking that back." Action. 2. From now on, I replace "I can't because" with "I haven't prioritized." Watch how that sentence changes your behavior. Action. 3. Set a 2-minute timer. Write down 3 decisions you made this week that you're proud of. Not outcomes, decisions. Start training your brain to see your agency. Action. 4. Remove 1 convenience. Delete 1 app. Move 1 temptation. Make your environment prove you're serious. Action. 5. Tonight, before bed, answer this. What did I own today? Not what went well. What you owned. 1 thing. Write it down. Repeat daily. Identity shift. You're not someone things happen to anymore. You're someone who makes things happen. There's a difference, and it starts with how you talk to yourself when nobody's listening. No one is coming. That's your power. Ask yourself right now, what's 1 excuse I've been hiding behind that sounds smart but keeps me stuck? Name it. We're about to burn it down. Ownership doesn't mean you caused everything. It means you control what comes next. That's the only edge you need. Here's what changes when you take the wheel. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop needing validation. You stop rehearsing conversations about why things didn't work out. You just start. And starting, messy, imperfect today beats planning forever. Most people spend their whole lives getting ready. Meanwhile, the person who started badly 6 months ago is already 10 steps ahead. Let's be specific. Ownership looks like this. You wake up late. Instead of spiraling, you own it. I chose to hit snooze. I'll adjust my alarm placement tonight. You snap at someone you care about. Instead of justifying, you own it. I was stressed. That's not an excuse. I'll do better. You skip the workout. Instead of building a story, you own it. I prioritized comfort. Tomorrow, I won't. See the pattern? No drama, no defense, just data and adjustment. This is how you stop being a passenger in your own life. You stop narrating why things happen and start directing what happens next. The people you admire? They're not luckier. They're not more talented. They just refuse to rent out their responsibility. Discipline over comfort. That's the trade you make every single day. And every time you choose discipline, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Ownership is the foundation. But ownership without action is just better sounding excuses. Next, we close the gap between knowing and doing. Chapter 2. Action. Intention. Intentions are theater. Action is proof. Stop auditioning and start performing. You've told yourself 100 times you'll start waking up earlier. You set the alarm with conviction. You picture the peaceful morning routine. Coffee, journaling, clarity. Then 6 a.m. arrives. The bed is warm. The room is cold. And a quiet voice whispers, "You can start tomorrow. One more day won't matter." So you stay. The problem isn't the alarm. It's the belief that intention counts for something. It doesn't. The only thing that counts is whether you got up. 3 core principles. 1. Action creates clarity. Thinking creates confusion. You can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into new thinking. 2. Start before you're ready. Confidence doesn't arrive before you begin. It builds while you move. Waiting to feel ready is the same as waiting forever. 3. Small actions compound faster than big intentions. 1 push-up today beats a gym membership you'll use next month. Do the smallest version now. The gap between what you say and what you do is where your life leaks away. Close that gap, starting with the next 60 seconds. 5 concrete actions. Action. 1. Pick one thing you said you'd do this week. Do a 2-minute version of it right now, not the whole thing. 2 minutes. Prove the gap is closing. Action. 2. From now on, I do the hardest task within the first hour of my day. No email, no scroll, no warm-up tasks. Hard first. Action. 3. Remove the phrase, "I'm going to," from your vocabulary. Replace it with "I am" or "nothing." Language creates reality. Action. 4. Place your workout clothes next to your bed tonight. When the alarm goes off, put them on before your brain wakes up. Motion beats motivation. Action. 5. Create a done log, 3 lines every night, listing actions you took, not results you achieved. Train your brain to value execution. Identity shift. You're not someone who plans anymore. You're someone who moves. Planners talk. Movers build. Act first. Confidence follows. Right now, what's one action you've been delaying because you're waiting to feel ready? What if you're never going to feel ready? Intention is a story you tell yourself. Action is evidence you show the world. Only one of those changes your life. The reason action beats intention is simple. Action generates feedback. You try something, it works or it doesn't. You adjust. That's learning. Intention generates nothing but more intention. You think about it, feel good about thinking, then think some more. That's spinning. Here's the pattern successful people follow. They try badly, fail quickly, adjust fast, repeat. They don't wait for the perfect plan. They build the plan by moving. Meanwhile, everyone else is still in the research phase, still gathering information, still preparing to prepare. You know what you need to do. You've always known. The information isn't missing. The action is. So stop consuming more content, hoping it'll finally motivate you. Stop watching videos about discipline while sitting still. Stop reading about change and start creating it. Here's your new rule. Every piece of information you consume must be followed by one immediate action. Watch a video about productivity? Immediately, time block tomorrow. Read about health? Immediately drink water and take 10 deep breaths. Information without application is just entertainment. Success starts when you take the wheel. But taking the wheel means moving the car. Not just gripping tighter while parked. The gap between who you are and who you want to be isn't crossed by thinking. It's crossed by doing. One step, then another, then another. Imperfect action today beats perfect planning forever. Discipline over comfort. That's the choice. And you make it by moving your body before your mind can negotiate. Action closes the gap. But sustainable action requires infrastructure. Next, we build the daily habits that make discipline automatic. Chapter 3. Habit Cleanup. Your habits are a vote. Every day, you're electing the future version of yourself. Choose wisely. You come home exhausted. You drop your bag by the door. You tell yourself you'll deal with it later. You collapse on the couch, pull out your phone, and disappear for 90 minutes. Later, you wonder why you can't find time for the things that matter. The answer is simple. Your environment makes the wrong things easy and the right things hard. Your habits aren't weak. Your design is. 3 core principles. 1. Habits beat willpower because habits don't require decisions. Willpower is a battery that drains. Habits are autopilot. Build the route, then let the system drive. 2. Environment is invisible momentum. You think you lack discipline. Really, you're fighting a room that's optimized for distraction. Change the room, change the result. 3. Identity-based habits stick. Don't say, I'm trying to exercise. Say, I'm someone who moves daily. The behavior follows the label. You don't need more motivation. You need better systems. Systems are what work when you don't feel like it. 5. Concrete actions. Action. 1. Identify your weakest hour, the time you consistently fail. Now place one physical object in your environment to disrupt the pattern. Phone in another room. Gym shoes by the door. Fruit bowl on the counter. Action. 2. From now on, I design my morning the night before. Lay out everything. Clothes, water bottle, notebook. Remove friction before it arrives. Action. 3. Set a daily anchor ritual that takes 90 seconds and always happens. Examples: 10 deep breaths before coffee, 2 sentences in a journal after brushing teeth, 1 minute of stretching after waking. Non-negotiable. Stack everything else onto this anchor. Action. 4. Remove one distraction completely. Not use it less. Remove. Delete the app. Cancel the subscription. Throw out the junk food. Make the bad choice impossible. Action. 5. Create a shutdown ritual for your evening. 30 minutes before bed. No screens. Lights dim. Journal 3 wins from today. Do this for 7 days and watch your mornings transform. Identity. Shift. You're not trying to build habits. You're becoming the type of person who honors commitments to yourself. That's a different game entirely. Discipline over comfort. Every single time. Ask yourself, what's one habit I've been trying to build for months? What if I stopped trying and started designing? Habits aren't built through force. They're built through engineering. Engineer your environment, and your habits will follow. Let's get tactical about your morning. The first hour of your day is a declaration. It sets the tone for everything that follows. Most people wake up and immediately check their phone. They let someone else's agenda hijack their attention before their feet hit the floor. That's not a morning routine. That's surrendering. Here's your new morning script. Alarm goes off, feet hit the floor within 5 seconds, drink water, move your body for 60 seconds. No phone for the first hour. No exceptions. Sounds extreme? Good. Extreme situations require extreme structures. And your evening? Just as critical. What you do in the last hour before bed determines the quality of your sleep, which determines the quality of your morning, which determines the quality of your life. So protect it. No screens, no heavy food, no stressful conversations. Wind down deliberately. Read, stretch, reflect. The people who win aren't the ones with the most discipline. They're the ones who removed the need for discipline by building environments where the right choice is the easy choice. You want to eat healthier? Don't rely on willpower at 9 p.m. Remove junk food from your house entirely. You want to write daily? Don't wait for inspiration. Open your laptop to a blank document before bed, so it's the first thing you see. You want to exercise? Sleep in your workout clothes. Make success automatic. Make failure inconvenient. No one is coming. That's your power. And your power is expressed through the systems you build when nobody's watching. Success starts when you take the wheel. But the wheel only turns if you build the road first. Your habits are the road. Habits create consistency. But growth requires discomfort. Next, we examine why the easy path always leads nowhere. Chapter 4. Comfort versus growth. Every day, you choose. Short-term relief or long-term strength. Choose wrong enough times, and you'll wake up in a life you don't recognize. You're sitting in a meeting. Someone asks a question you know the answer to. Your heart races. You tell yourself you'll speak up next time, but you don't. Later, at the gym, the weights feel heavy. You think about dropping down. You tell yourself it's smart to be cautious. So you do. That evening, you want to have a difficult conversation with someone you care about. But it'll create tension. So you stay quiet. 3 moments, 3 choices, all choosing comfort. And at the end of the day, you feel smaller. 3 core principles. 1. Comfort is a loan with compounding interest. It feels good now and costs you exponentially later. Every time you choose the easy path, the hard path gets harder. 2. Growth lives in the gap between what's comfortable and what's possible. If you're always comfortable, you're not growing. You're managing decline. 3. The stretch choice is the growth choice. Every day presents moments where you can choose comfort or stretch. The person you become is the sum of those choices. Comfort isn't evil. It's just expensive. And most people don't realize they're paying until they can't afford to change. 5. Concrete actions. Action. 1. Identify one daily stretch choice, a moment where you consistently choose comfort. Tomorrow, choose differently. Just once. Examples. Cold shower, speaking first in a meeting, saying no to something you always say yes to. Action. 2. From now on, I do one thing daily that makes me slightly uncomfortable. Not reckless, just uncomfortable. This trains your nervous system to expand. Action. 3. Set a comfort alarm for 3 p.m. daily. When it rings, ask, have I challenged myself today, or have I been on autopilot? If autopilot, course correct immediately. Action 4. Remove one comfort ritual that doesn't serve you. Examples. Scrolling before bed, midday energy drinks, complaining sessions with coworkers. Replace it with something that builds you. Action. 5. create a "Did I stretch?" scoreboard. Simple tally. Each day, mark whether you chose discomfort at least once. Track for 30 days and watch your capacity grow. Identity. Shift. You're not someone who avoids discomfort. You're someone who uses discomfort as fuel. Comfort makes you soft. Discomfort makes you sharp. You versus your excuses. Win this battle. Right now, where in your life have you been choosing comfort over growth? What's it costing you 6 months from now? The comfortable choice feels safe. The growth choice feels risky. But the only real risk is staying the same while the world moves forward. Here's the truth about comfort. It's designed to keep you alive, not to make you thrive. Your nervous system wants safety. It wants predictability. It wants zero risk. But the life you want requires risk. Not reckless risk. Calculated discomfort. Every successful person you admire got there by repeatedly doing things that scared them. They spoke up when it was easier to stay quiet. They launched before they felt ready. They had the hard conversation instead of letting resentment build. And every single time, it was uncomfortable. But here's the secret. Discomfort is temporary. Regret is permanent. The discomfort of a difficult conversation lasts 20 minutes. The regret of staying silent lasts years. The discomfort of starting something new lasts weeks. The regret of never trying lasts a lifetime. So ask yourself, which pain do I want? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret? Because you're going to feel pain either way. One builds you. One buries you. Discipline over comfort. This is the mantra. This is the war cry. This is the choice that separates the life you're living from the life you're capable of. And the beautiful thing about choosing discomfort? It gets easier. Your capacity for challenge expands. What terrified you last month becomes your baseline today. You don't conquer fear by avoiding it. You conquer it by walking through it so many times it gets bored and leaves. Act first. Confidence follows. And confidence is just familiarity with discomfort. Choosing growth over comfort changes your trajectory. But doing it when nobody's watching? That changes your character. Let's talk about silent accountability. Chapter 5. Silent accountability. Who you are when nobody's looking isn't a version of you. It's the real you. Everything else is performance. It's 10 p.m. You're alone in your apartment. You told yourself you'd read tonight instead of scrolling. Nobody will know if you break that promise. Your partner's asleep. Your friends aren't watching. There's zero external consequence. So you pull out your phone 5 minutes becomes 90. The day you planned to be proud of ends in the same loop. And tomorrow, you'll make the same promise to yourself. But here's the thing. You knew. You watched yourself betray yourself. And that costs more than any external disappointment ever could. 3 core principles. 1. Private standards create public results. What you do when nobody's watching is what you actually value. Everything else is branding. 2. Self-betrayal compounds. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you teach yourself that your word means nothing. Soon, you stop believing your own commitments. 3. Integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about keeping score honestly. You can miss a target and maintain integrity. You can't lie about the miss and keep it. External accountability is useful. Self-accountability is unstoppable. Build the second one, and you'll never need the first. 5. Concrete actions. Action. 1. Choose one private commitment you've been breaking. Examples: screen time limit, bedtime, daily movement. Honor it for 3 days straight. Just 3. Prove to yourself your word still means something. Action. 2. From now on, I track one metric daily that nobody else sees. Not for motivation, for honesty. Examples: hours of deep work, screens off time, workouts completed. Raw data, no stories. Action 3. Set a nightly integrity check-in. 30 seconds before bed, ask, did I do what I said I'd do today? Yes or no? If no, name why without justification. Action. 4. Create a consequence for self-betrayal that you actually enforce. Examples: if you skip the morning routine, no coffee until it's done. If you scroll past 10 p.m., no phone until noon the next day. Make breaking promises to yourself expensive. Action. 5. Write down 3 standards you hold in private that nobody knows about. Then ask, are you actually honoring them, or just rehearsing who you want to be? Identity shift. You're not someone who needs external pressure to perform. You're someone whose standards are higher in private than in public. That's rare. That's powerful. No one is coming. That's your power. Ask yourself right now, what's one thing I'm pretending to commit to, but consistently breaking when nobody's watching? The person you are in private is the person you're becoming in public. You can't fake growth. You can only build it in the dark. Let's talk about what happens when you honor yourself consistently. Something shifts. You stop needing external validation because you've built internal trust. You said you'd do something. You did it. That's evidence. Evidence creates belief. Belief creates momentum. Most people wait for someone else to hold them accountable. A coach, a friend, a program. And when that external force disappears, so does their progress. But the people who build lives they're proud of, they're their own accountability. They keep their word to themselves with the same seriousness they keep their word to others. Actually, more seriously. Because disappointing yourself cuts deeper than disappointing anyone else. Here's a hard question. If someone followed you around for a week and watched everything you did in private, would they believe you're serious about your goals? Would they see someone committed or someone pretending? Because here's the truth. You can't lie to yourself and win. You can lie to other people. You can perform. You can manage impressions. But when you're alone at night, you know. You know if you gave your best or your leftovers. You know if you honored your word or renegotiated it. You know if you're moving forward or just maintaining the illusion of progress. And that knowing, that's either your greatest asset or your deepest wound. Make it your asset. Keep your promises, especially the ones nobody else knows about. Success starts when you take the wheel. But you can't steer if you don't trust your own hands. Build that trust through private integrity. Silent accountability builds trust with yourself. But trust alone isn't enough. Next, we explore how to embody the person you're becoming before you've arrived. Chapter 6. Act like future. Behavior doesn't follow belief. Belief follows behavior. Start acting like the person you respect, and you'll become them. You want to be confident, so you wait to feel confident before you act. You'll speak up when you feel more sure. You'll take risks when you feel more capable. You'll show up boldly when you feel more ready. Meanwhile, years pass. You're still waiting, still rehearsing, still hoping confidence will arrive like a package at your door. It won't. Confidence isn't delivered. It's built. And it's built through acting confident before you feel it. 3 core principles. 1. Identity is constructed through evidence. You become who you act like consistently. If you act like someone who honors commitments, you'll believe you're that person. The action creates the identity. 2. Future you isn't a different person. They're you after 1,000 better decisions. Start making those decisions now, and the gap closes. 3. Carry yourself like someone you respect. Posture, tone, pace. choices, not as performance, as practice. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between acting and being. So, act until it becomes real. You don't wait to become the person you want to be. You start acting like them today. The identity follows the evidence. 5 concrete actions. Action. 1. Describe future you in 3 words. Examples: disciplined, focused, healthy. Now ask, what would that person do in the next 30 minutes? Do that thing. Action. 2. From now on, I make decisions by asking, what would the version of me I respect do right now? Then I do that thing before my brain can negotiate. Action. 3. Change one aspect of how you carry yourself physically. Stand straighter. Walk slower. Make eye contact 1 second longer. Your body shapes your identity. Action. 4. Audit your language. Count how many times today you said, I can't, I'm not, or I'm bad at. Replace those with, I'm learning to, I'm building, or I'm practicing. Words create worlds. Action. 5. Each morning, set one character goal. Not an outcome, but a way of being. Examples: today I'm someone who stays calm under pressure. Today I'm someone who finishes what they start. Then live it. Identity shift. You're not waiting to transform. You're transforming through each choice. Every decision is a vote for the person you're becoming. Cast better votes. Act first. Confidence follows. Ask yourself, if future you, the version living the life you want, walked into the room right now, what would they think of how you spent today? Belief doesn't create behavior. Behavior creates belief. So stop waiting to feel like the person you want to be. Start behaving like them. Here's why this works. Your brain is wired to create consistency between your actions and your identity. When you act disciplined, your brain scrambles to explain it. I must be a disciplined person. When you act confident, your brain concludes, I must be confident. When you act like someone who keeps their word, your brain accepts, I'm someone who keeps their word. You've been doing this in reverse. You've been waiting for the identity to arrive so you can act. But the identity is constructed through the acting. So act. Even when it feels fake. Especially when it feels fake. Because it's not fake. It's practice. Think about the person you admire most. How do they move through the world? How do they respond to setbacks? How do they make decisions? Now do that. Not perfectly, imperfectly, but consistently. You want to be disciplined? Start acting disciplined in small ways. Make your bed. Show up on time. Finish what you start. You want to be bold? Start acting bold in small ways. Speak first. Ask for what you want. Try the thing that scares you. You want to be healthy? Start acting healthy in small ways. Take the stairs. Drink water. Move your body. The gap between who you are and who you want to be isn't crossed by dreaming. It's crossed by doing. One small act at a time. Discipline over comfort. Every choice is a referendum on your character. Vote wisely. And here's the beautiful part. The more evidence you build, the less effort it takes. Acting confident becomes being confident. Acting disciplined becomes being disciplined. The line between acting and being disappears. That's not fake. That's transformation. Success starts when you take the wheel. Future you is already holding it. You just need to put your hands where theirs are. You're acting like future you. You're building evidence. Now let's dismantle the specific excuses that keep showing up to sabotage your progress. Chapter 7. No Excuses Protocol. Your excuses aren't reasons. They're habits. And every habit can be broken. You didn't work out today. You tell yourself you were too tired. Tomorrow, you skip because you're too busy. Next week, it's too cold. Then, too hot. Then you're traveling. Then you're recovering from travel. 6 months pass. You've worked out twice. But you have a catalog of reasons why each day was the exception. Here's the truth. If you have a different excuse every day, the excuse isn't the reason. Avoidance is the reason. And you've gotten very good at dressing it up. 3. Core Principles. 1. Excuses are logic you use to justify staying the same. They sound reasonable. They feel true. But reasonable excuses create unremarkable lives. 2. Every excuse has a counter rule. I'm too tired gets countered by I do 5 minutes anyway. I don't have time gets countered by I start before I'm ready. Name the excuse. Build the counter rule. Honor it ruthlessly. 3. Excuses compound faster than progress. One excuse makes the next one easier. Soon, you're not someone who occasionally skips. You're someone who always has a reason why not. Your top 5 excuses are running your life. Name them. Counter them. Neutralize them. 5. Concrete actions. Action. 1. Right now, write down your top 5 excuses. The ones you use most often. Be honest. Examples. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start Monday. I work better under pressure. It's not the right time. Action. 2. For each excuse, write a counter rule. Examples. I'm too tired. I do 10 minutes when tired instead of 0. I don't have time. I do the most important thing first, even if I only have 5 minutes. Action. 3. From now on, I call my excuses what they are: fear or avoidance. Out loud. I'm not too tired. I'm avoiding discomfort. Watch how this changes your behavior. Action 4. Set a no excuse hour. 1 hour daily where no excuse is valid. Pick your weakest hour and protect it. Example: 6 to 7. AM is non-negotiable for your priority. No exceptions, no negotiations. Action. 5. Create an excuse graveyard. A note on your phone where you write every excuse you almost used, but didn't. Track them for 14 days. Watch the patterns. Celebrate killing each one. Identity shift. You're not someone who has reasons anymore. You're someone who finds ways. There's always a way if you want it badly enough. You versus your excuses. Win this battle. Ask yourself, what's the excuse I use most often? What if that excuse disappeared tomorrow? What would I do then? Do that now. Excuses sound different, but they all do the same thing: keep you stuck. Stop collecting reasons and start collecting results. Let's get tactical. Here are the most common excuses and how to destroy them. I'm too tired. Counter rule: when tired, I do the minimum viable version. 2 push-ups instead of 20. 5 minutes of work instead of 50. Tired isn't off. Tired is modified. I don't have time. Counter rule: I don't find time, I make time. I audit my day, find the 30 minutes I spent scrolling, and reallocate it. Time isn't lost. It's mismanaged. I'll start Monday. Counter rule: I start with one action today. Monday isn't magic. Today is. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. It's not the right time. Counter rule: there is no right time. There's now and there's never. Waiting for perfect conditions is the same as waiting forever. Imperfect action beats perfect timing. I work better under pressure. Counter rule: I create artificial pressure instead of waiting for deadlines. I set a 20-minute timer and sprint. Pressure isn't a personality trait. It's a tool you can build. For every excuse, there's a counter rule. Build yours. Honor them. Watch your excuses starve. Here's the pattern. Every excuse is designed to protect you from discomfort. Your brain wants safety. It wants certainty. It wants zero risk. So it builds narratives that sound logical. You're too tired. You don't have time. conditions aren't right. But those narratives are just fear wearing a suit. The moment you stop arguing with your excuses and start overriding them, everything changes. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop rehearsing reasons. You just move. And movement, even imperfect movement, beats perfect stillness every time. No one is coming. That's your power. And your power is expressed when you act despite the excuse, not because you eliminated it. The excuse will always be there. The question is, will you? Success starts when you take the wheel. But you can't steer if you're too busy explaining why the road is hard. Discipline over comfort. Choose discipline. Choose it when you're tired. Choose it when you're busy. Choose it when it's inconvenient. That's when it counts most. You've neutralized your excuses. Now let's take the resource everyone claims they don't have, time, and master it completely. Chapter 8. Time Mastery. You don't lack time. You lack priorities and the courage to enforce them. You wake up with 8 hours ahead of you. You tell yourself today will be different, productive, focused. 2 hours later, you've checked email 40 times, scrolled through 3 apps, and responded to messages that could have waited. By lunch, you're exhausted. You've been busy all morning, but accomplished nothing that matters. By evening, you're frustrated. Another day where urgency won and importance lost. The problem isn't your schedule. It's your lack of ruthless prioritization. 3 core principles. 1. Time isn't managed. Attention is. You have the same hours as everyone else. The difference is what you protect and what you allow to be stolen. 2. The first and last hour of your day determine everything. Win the morning, and momentum carries you. Lose it, and you're reacting all day. Win the evening, and you set up tomorrow's success. Lose it, and you start behind. 3. Ruthless priorities mean saying no to good things so you can say yes to great things. Most people fill their time with tasks that feel productive but move nothing forward. You have enough time for what matters. You just spend it on what doesn't. Fix your priorities, and time fixes itself. 5. Concrete actions. Action. 1. Right now, write down the 3 outcomes that would make this week a success. Not tasks. Outcomes. Everything else is optional. Action. 2. From now on, I time block my 3 priorities before anything else touches my calendar. First hour of the day is protected for priority 1. No meetings, no email, no exceptions. Action 3. Set a scroll curfew. No social media or news between certain hours. Example: no scrolling before 10 a.m. or after 8 p.m. Use a website blocker if necessary. Make distraction inconvenient. Action. 4. Create a stop doing list. 3 things you'll stop doing this week that consume time but create no value. Examples: checking email first thing, saying yes to every meeting, consuming news constantly. Action. 5. Implement the 10-10-10 rule. Before saying yes to anything, ask, will this matter in 10 minutes? 10 months? 10 years? If no to all 3, it's a no. Identity shift. You're not someone who's always busy. You're someone who's always intentional. Busy is a choice, and you're choosing differently. Success starts when you take the wheel. Ask yourself, if you audited the last 3 days, how many hours were spent on your actual priorities versus everything else? What's that ratio telling you? Time mastery isn't about doing more. It's about doing less of what doesn't matter, so you can do more of what does. Let's build your perfect day, not your ideal day, your minimum viable day. The day that, if repeated, would transform your life in 6 months. First hour. No phone. No input. Output only. Write, create, build, or move your body. This is your sacred hour. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. Midday. Time block your deep work. 90-minute sprints with 15-minute breaks. Phone in another room. Notifications off. Single task only. Deep work is where leverage lives. Evening. Shutdown ritual. Close all loops. Tomorrow's top 3 written down. No screen time the last hour. Wind down deliberately. Win the evening, win the morning. Simple, repeatable, non-negotiable. Now here's the hard part. Everything else fights for this time. Emails, messages, requests, emergencies that aren't emergencies. Your job is to become ruthless, to say no without explanation, to protect your time like a finite resource, because it is. Most people are available to everyone except themselves. They answer every message, attend every meeting, say yes to every request. Then they wonder why they never have time for their goals. Here's your new rule. If it's not a priority, it's a no. Not, let me think about it. Not, maybe next week. Number. You don't owe anyone access to your time. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your priorities. Time is the only resource you can't earn back. Spend it on something that doesn't matter. and it's gone forever. So spend it like you'll never get it again. Because you won't. Discipline over comfort. The comfortable choice is to be available, accommodating, reactive. The disciplined choice is to be boundaried, intentional, proactive. Act first. Confidence follows. And confidence in your priorities means saying no to distractions without guilt. You've mastered your time. Now let's get brutally honest about whether you're actually using it to move forward or just staying comfortable in motion. Chapter 9. Brutal honesty. Lying to yourself is the most expensive habit you'll ever have. Truth is free, and it sets you free. You tell yourself you're working on your goals. You spent 2 hours researching. You updated your plan. You watched 3 videos about success. But you didn't write the first page. You didn't make the first call. You didn't take the first real step. You were busy. You felt productive. But you moved 0 inches forward. And deep down, you know the difference between real work and work about work. You've just gotten good at hiding from that knowledge. 3 core principles. 1. Progress lies. Feelings lie. Only results tell the truth. You can feel productive and accomplish nothing. You can feel stuck and be building momentum. Track outcomes, not activity. 2. The questions you avoid reveal the work you're avoiding. If you won't ask it, you won't fix it. Brutal honesty starts with brutal questions. 3. Self-deception is a slow poison. You can lie to yourself for years, but the cost accumulates. Eventually, you wake up in a life you don't recognize and wonder how you got there. The answer? 1 small lie at a time. Honesty is hard. Delusion is harder. It just takes longer to realize it. 5. Concrete actions. Action. 1. Right now, answer this. What am I pretending not to know? About my health, my relationships, my progress, my habits. Write it down. No one else will see it. Be ruthless. Action. 2. From now on, I track results, not effort. Not, I worked hard today. Did the number move? Did I finish the thing? Yes or no? Raw data. No stories. Action 3. Weekly self-audit. Ask these 5 questions every Sunday. What did I say I'd do? What did I actually do? Where's the gap? What's the real reason? What changes this week? Action. 4. Remove vanity metrics. Stop tracking things that make you feel good, but don't measure what matters. Examples. Hours at the gym. Did you get stronger? Time at your desk. Did you ship? Books you bought. Did you read them? Action. 5. Implement a truth partner. Check in. Find one person who will ask you the hard questions monthly. Are you doing what you said you'd do? What are you avoiding? Where are you lying to yourself? Give them permission to be brutal. Identity shift. You're not someone who needs to protect your ego anymore. You're someone who values truth over comfort. That makes you dangerous in the best way. No one is coming. That's your power. Ask yourself, what truth about my current trajectory am I avoiding? What happens if I keep avoiding it for another 6 months? The truth hurts for a moment. Delusion hurts forever. Choose the fast pain. Here are the questions most people won't ask themselves. You will. Am I actually working on my goals, or am I working on feeling like I'm working on my goals? There's a difference. One moves the needle. One moves your emotions. Am I investing in my growth, or am I consuming content about growth? Reading about success isn't the same as building it. Watching videos about discipline isn't the same as practicing it. Consumption feels like progress. It's not. Am I being honest about my capacity, or am I making excuses? Maybe you truly don't have 3 hours to train. Fine. Do you have 10 minutes? If yes, do that. If no, you're lying. What am I doing daily that my future self will regret? The late nights, the junk food, the toxic conversations, the time wasted. You know what it is. Name it. What am I not doing daily that my future self will wish I had started now? The skill, the habit, the relationship work, the health practice. You know what it is. Start it. These questions reveal everything. Ask them weekly. Answer them honestly. Watch your life change. The reason brutal honesty works is simple. You can't fix what you won't face. And most people spend their entire lives managing their self-image instead of managing their progress. They want to feel disciplined more than they want to be disciplined. They want to appear successful more than they want to build success. They want to believe they're changing more than they want to do the work to change. But you're different. You're reading this because some part of you is done with the performance, done with the stories, done with the loop. So stop performing. Start building. Stop storytelling. Start truth-telling. Success starts when you take the wheel. But you can't steer if you won't look at the road ahead. Brutal honesty is how you see clearly. Discipline over comfort. The comfortable choice is to avoid the hard questions. The disciplined choice is to ask them every single week. Honesty reveals what's broken. Now let's fix the foundation, your energy and health, because without those, nothing else matters. Chapter 10. Energy and Health as Strategy. You're not tired. You're undernourished, underrested, and overstimulated. Fix the inputs, and the outputs fix themselves. You wake up groggy. You skip breakfast, grab coffee. By 10 a.m., you need another coffee. By 2 p.m., you're crashing. You power through with sugar or caffeine. By evening, you're wired but exhausted. You tell yourself you're just busy, just stressed, just getting older. But the truth is simpler. You're running a high-performance life on low-quality fuel. And eventually, the engine fails. 3 core principles. 1. Energy is the base layer. Discipline, focus, and willpower all drain from the same tank. If your energy is low, everything else suffers. Health isn't vanity. It's strategy. 2. Sleep is non-negotiable. You can't outwork bad sleep. You can't out-discipline bad recovery. 8 hours isn't a luxury. It's the foundation of every good decision you make. 3. Your body is your vehicle. Treat it like you'll need it for decades, because you will. Neglect it now, pay exponentially later. Health isn't something you work on after you succeed. Health is how you succeed. Without energy, you have nothing. 5 concrete actions. Action. 1. Set a non-negotiable bedtime and wake time. Same every day, including weekends. 7 days. Watch your energy stabilize. Action. 2. From now on, I drink water before coffee. Hydration before stimulation. Most fatigue is dehydration, wearing a disguise. Action. 3. Move your body for 10 minutes within 30 minutes of waking. Not a workout, just movement. Walk, stretch, dance. Wake up your nervous system without relying on caffeine. Action. 4. Remove ultra-processed foods from your home. If it's not there, you won't eat it when willpower is low. Stock simple, real food. Make the healthy choice the easy choice. Action. 5. Create a low-energy protocol, a script for when you're drained. Examples: 20-minute walk, 10-minute nap, cold water on your face, 5 deep breaths. Don't rely on stimulants to solve a rest problem. Identity shift. You're not someone who trades health for productivity. You're someone who builds productivity on top of health. That's sustainable power. Discipline over comfort. Ask yourself, what's one health habit I've been treating as optional that's actually mission critical? What happens if I keep ignoring it? Energy management is time management. You can have all the hours in the world, but without energy, they're worthless. Let's get specific about sleep. Most people treat sleep like a suggestion. Then they wonder why their focus is terrible, their mood is unstable, and their progress is slow. Sleep isn't where you lose time. Sleep is where you build capacity for everything else. Your sleep protocol: 8 hours, non-negotiable, same bedtime, same wake time, dark room, cool temperature, no screens the last hour. Sounds extreme? Good. Your goals are extreme. Your habits should match. Now let's talk about stimulants. Caffeine isn't evil, but using it to override exhaustion instead of addressing it, that's borrowing from tomorrow to pay for today. Use caffeine strategically, not as a crutch, not as a fix for bad sleep, as an enhancer for already good energy. Movement. You don't need a gym membership. You need to move daily. Walk, stretch, lift something heavy. Your body was built to move, and it falls apart when you don't. 10 minutes, every day. No exceptions. Start there. Food. Stop eating like you're invincible. You're not. Every meal is either building you or breaking you down. Choose accordingly. Real food. Mostly plants. Not too much. Drink water. It's not complicated. We've just made it complicated to avoid doing it. Here's the trap. You tell yourself you'll focus on health after you achieve your goals. But you need health to achieve your goals. It's not a reward. It's a requirement. The most disciplined people you know, they sleep 8 hours. They move daily. They eat real food. Not because they have time, because they make time. Because they know without energy, nothing else works. Act first. Confidence follows. And acting on your health when you don't feel like it is the ultimate expression of long-term thinking. Success starts when you take the wheel. But you can't drive if you're running on fumes. Fuel yourself properly. Energy is the foundation. Now let's build the structure on top. The systems that make discipline automatic. Chapter 11. Systems over goals. Goals tell you where to go. Systems get you there. Focus on the system, and the goal takes care of itself. You set a goal. Lose 20 pounds. You're motivated for 3 days. Then, life happens. you skip a workout, then another. A month later, you're back where you started, setting the same goal again. The problem wasn't your goal. It was your lack of system. Goals are destinations. Systems are vehicles. You don't need more motivation to reach your destination. You need a better vehicle. 3 core principles. 1. Systems are what work when motivation doesn't. Motivation gets you started. Systems keep you going. Build systems that function on your worst day. 2. What gets tracked gets improved. You can't manage what you don't measure. Simple scoreboard. Daily check. That's it. 3. Plans fail. Plan for failure. Build if-then protocols. If I miss a workout, then I do 10 push-ups before bed. If I break my streak, then I restart immediately. Never go 2 days broken. Goals are useful for direction. Systems are essential for progress. Stop obsessing over outcomes. Start building better processes. 5. Concrete actions. Action. 1. Create a weekly review ritual. Every Sunday, 15 minutes. What worked? What didn't? What changes this week? Write it down. Adjust the system based on data, not feelings. Action. 2. From now on, I track 1 key metric daily. Not 10. 1. Examples. Did I do my morning routine? Did I complete deep work? Did I honor my bedtime? Simple binary. Yes or no. Action. 3. Build 3 if-then plans for your biggest failure points. Examples. If I feel like skipping, then I do 5 minutes instead of 0. If I'm tempted to scroll, then I do 10 push-ups first. Pre-decide before the moment arrives. Action. 4. Create a visible scoreboard, calendar on the wall. X for every day you honor your system. The chain builds momentum. Don't break the chain. Action. 5. Design a relapse protocol. You will miss. You will fail. What happens next determines everything. Protocol. Acknowledge, restart immediately. No shame spiral. Failure is data. Use it. Identity shift. You're not someone who relies on motivation. You're someone who builds machines that run without you. That's scalable discipline. You versus your excuses. Win this battle. Ask yourself, what's one area where I keep setting goals but never building systems? What if I stopped chasing outcomes and started engineering processes? Goals create pressure. Systems create progress. Choose progress. Let's talk about the weekly review. This is where average people become exceptional. 15 minutes every Sunday. 3 questions. What did I commit to this week? What did I actually do? What's the gap? No judgment. Just data. The gap reveals the work. Most people never close the loop. They set intentions. Monday, and forget by Wednesday. Then they wonder why nothing changes. The weekly review closes the loop. It forces honesty. It creates accountability. It turns vague effort into concrete improvement. Now the scoreboard. Visual. Simple. Public. To yourself. A calendar where you mark every day you honored your system. Why? Because the streak matters. Missing 1 day is forgivable. Missing 2 is a pattern. The scoreboard shows you the pattern before it becomes your identity. If, then, plans are your insurance policy. Most people fail at the moment of decision. They rely on willpower in the moment. Willpower fails. So you pre-decide. If X happens, then I do Y. No thinking required. The plan exists before the moment. Examples. If I wake up and don't feel like working out, then I put on my shoes and do 5 minutes. If I'm tempted to order takeout, then I drink a glass of water and wait 10 minutes. If I want to skip the hard task, then I set a timer for 15 minutes and just start. The magic isn't in the plan. It's in the pre-decision. You've already decided what you'll do. The moment can't negotiate. Systems remove decisions. Decisions drain willpower. Remove decisions. Preserve willpower. Win more often. No one is coming. That's your power. And your power is multiplied when you build systems that work without supervision. Success starts when you take the wheel. Systems are how you keep steering even when the road gets rough. Your systems are built. But systems exist in an environment. Next, we engineer the environment and relationships that support your new identity. Chapter 12. Environment and relationships. You are the average of your environment. Change the environment. Change yourself. You decide to eat healthier. But your kitchen is stocked with junk food. Your friends want to get fast food. Your family keeps offering you treats. Every day is a battle. Every choice requires willpower. You're fighting your environment instead of designing it. Eventually, you break. Not because you're weak, because your environment was stronger. 3 core principles. 1. Environment is a silent force. It shapes behavior without you noticing. A cluttered desk creates cluttered thinking. A stocked fridge removes decision fatigue. Design for success. 2. You can't outwork a toxic environment. If the people around you normalize mediocrity, you'll drift toward mediocrity. If they normalize excellence, you'll rise. Social gravity is real. 3. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're structural. Saying no to time wasters isn't mean. It's strategic. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. Willpower is limited. Environment is constant. Win by changing the field, not by fighting harder on a losing field. 5. Concrete actions. Action. 1. Audit your physical environment right now. What's in arm's reach? What's visible? Remove one distraction. Add one tool that supports your goal. Examples. Remove TV remote from living room. Place book on pillow. Put running shoes by the door. Action. 2. From now on, I design high friction for bad habits, low friction for good ones. Want to scroll less? Delete apps. Want to read more? Leave book on your pillow. Make the right choice, the easy choice. Action 3. Evaluate your top 5 relationships. Ask, do these people make me better or keep me comfortable? You don't need to cut anyone. Just notice. Then invest more time in the people who elevate you. Action 4. Set a relationship boundary this week. Say no to one commitment that drains you. Say yes to one relationship that builds you. Be deliberate about your social calendar. Action 5. Create a recovery environment. One space in your home optimized for rest and renewal. No screens, no clutter, just calm. Use it daily. Identity shift. You're not someone who fights their environment. You're someone who engineers it. That's power. Most people never realize they have. Success starts when you take the wheel. Ask yourself, what's one part of my environment actively working against my goals? What's one relationship that consistently pulls me backward? Your environment votes on your behavior every second. Make sure the votes are in your favor. Let's talk about social gravity. The people you spend time with shape who you become. Not through lectures, through osmosis. If everyone around you stays up late, you'll stay up late. If everyone around you complains, you'll complain. If everyone around you quits when things get hard, you'll quit. This isn't about cutting people off. It's about being intentional. Spend more time with people who challenge you. Less time with people who enable your excuses. And if you can't find those people in person, find them online. Listen to podcasts, read books, join communities. You're not limited by geography anymore. Now your physical space. Look around right now. What's visible? What's within reach? If junk food is on the counter, you'll eat it. If your phone is on your nightstand, you'll check it. If the gym bag is buried in the closet, you won't go. Rearrange everything. Make good choices visible and convenient. Make bad choices invisible and inconvenient. This isn't willpower. It's design. And design beats discipline every time. Discipline over comfort. But use design to make discipline easier. Act first. Confidence follows. And acting to change your environment is one of the highest leverage actions you can take. Your environment is optimized. Your systems are running. Now let's prepare for the inevitable. Setbacks. Because you will fall. The question is whether you'll stay down. Chapter 13. Setbacks and rebounds. Failure isn't the problem. Staying down is. Get up faster than you fall. You're on a streak. 14 days straight. You're feeling unstoppable. Then life punches you. You get sick. Work explodes. Something breaks. You miss a day. Then another. The streak is gone. And with it, your momentum. A week later, you haven't restarted. The gap feels too big. So you tell yourself you'll start fresh next month. Next month comes. You don't start. Because the problem was never the setback. It was how you responded to it. 3 core principles. 1. Missing once is a mistake. Missing twice is a choice. The first miss is life. The second miss is identity. Never miss twice. 2. Failure is data, not identity. You didn't fail at the thing. You learned something about your system. Adjust and move. 3. The 24-hour reset is your superpower. You have 24 hours to restart. Not next week. Not next month. Tomorrow. Speed of recovery beats perfection of execution. Perfection is a myth. Resilience is a skill. Build the skill by getting back up faster each time. 5 concrete actions. Action. 1. Right now, name one area where you've fallen off. Commit to one micro action today to restart. Not the full thing. Just 1 rep. 1 sentence. 1 minute. Momentum beats scale. Action. 2. From now on, I have a 24-hour reset rule. If I break a streak, I restart within 24 hours. No exceptions. The restart is more important than the streak. Action 3. Create a failure log, not to shame yourself, but to identify patterns. When do I fall off? What triggers it? What's the real blocker? Data reveals solutions. Action 4. Build a minimal, viable version of every habit. Examples. Can't do 30 minutes. Do 5. Can't write 1,000 words. Write 50. Something beats nothing. Maintain the identity, even when you can't maintain the volume. Action 5. Celebrate restarts, not just streaks. Each time you get back up, that's a win. Track it. Times I restarted. 12. That number matters more than days in a row. 47. Identity shift. You're not someone who never falls. You're someone who always gets back up. That's the real strength. No one is coming. That's your power. Ask yourself, where have I been staying down instead of getting back up? What's keeping me from restarting today? The setback is temporary. The story you tell yourself about it becomes permanent. Tell a better story. Here's the truth about setbacks. They're guaranteed. You will miss workouts. You will break streaks. You will have bad weeks. The question isn't if. It's what you do next. Most people treat a setback like a verdict. I failed. I'm not disciplined. This doesn't work for me. But a setback is just information. It tells you where your system is weak, where your environment needs adjustment, where your plan needs refinement. The people you admire, they've failed more than you've tried. The difference isn't that they don't fall, it's that they get up faster. They don't waste 3 days feeling bad about missing one workout. They do 10 push-ups the next morning and move on. They don't spiral after breaking a diet. They eat clean the next meal and keep going. They don't quit after a bad week. They restart on Monday and adjust the plan. This is the never miss twice rule. Missing once is life. Missing twice is a pattern, and patterns become identity. So you draw the line at 2. Always. Here's your setback protocol. Step 1. Acknowledge it. No shame, no story, just facts. I missed. It happened. Step 2. Identify the cause. Not, I'm lazy, the real cause. I didn't prepare the night before. I let a meeting run long. I prioritized comfort. Step 3. Adjust the system. What needs to change so this doesn't happen again? Change it today. Step 4. Restart immediately. Not tomorrow, not Monday. The next possible moment. Do the smallest version if that's all you can manage. Step 5. Count it as a win. You fell and got back up. That's the skill that matters most. Setbacks are part of the process. Staying down is optional. Get up faster, and you'll go farther than people who never fell. Discipline over comfort, especially in the restart. The restart is when discipline matters most. Act first. Confidence follows. And acting to restart before you feel ready is the ultimate proof you've changed. You versus your excuses. Win this battle. The biggest excuse after a setback is, "I'll start fresh later." Later is how you lose. Now is how you win. You've learned to restart. You've built the systems. You've prepared for the war. Now let's seal it with a final vow. This is your manifesto. Chapter 14. Final Manifesto. This is it. The moment where knowing becomes doing, where intention becomes proof. You've heard everything you need to hear. You know what to do. You've always known. The question was never about information. It was about decision. So let's decide. Right now. You're not the person who waits anymore. You're not the person who plans forever. You're not the person who has good reasons for bad results. You're the person who moves, who starts, who restarts, who honors commitments even when nobody's watching. You're the person who takes radical ownership, who closes the say-do gap, who builds habits through design, not force. You're the person who chooses growth over comfort, who maintains private standards, who acts like future you before you feel like future you. You're the person who neutralizes excuses, who masters time through priorities, who tells the brutal truth, especially to yourself. You're the person who treats health as strategy, who builds systems over goals, who engineers environments instead of fighting them. And you're the person who gets back up every single time. This isn't motivation. Motivation fades when the book ends. This is architecture, structure, identity. You're building a new operating system, and it runs on these principles. Success starts when you take the wheel. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for someone else to change your life. Grab the wheel. Start steering. Today. No one is coming. That's your power. Nobody is going to save you. Nobody is going to do the work for you. Nobody is going to care about your goals more than you do. And that's not a curse. That's liberation. You're in control. Act like it. Discipline over comfort. Every day you choose the easy path or the growth path, the temporary relief or the permanent strength. The person who chooses discipline consistently becomes someone comfort can't touch. Act first. Confidence follows. You're not waiting to feel ready anymore. You're starting scared, starting uncertain, starting imperfect, because action creates clarity. Motion creates confidence, and waiting creates nothing but regret. You versus your excuses. Win this battle. This is the daily war. You versus the voice that says tomorrow. You versus the patterns that feel safe but keep you small. You versus every logical sounding reason to stay the same. Win this battle. Every day. One choice at a time. Here's what changes when you win. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop explaining why things didn't work out. You stop needing external validation because you've built internal trust. You start showing up. Consistently. Quietly. Without announcement. You do the work when nobody's watching. You keep your word to yourself with the same seriousness you keep your word to others. You become someone who doesn't just talk about change, someone who builds it, brick by brick, rep by rep, day by day. And 6 months from now, someone will ask you how you changed. And you won't have a dramatic story. You'll just shrug and say, I decided. And then I did the work. That's it. That's the secret. Decide. Do the work. Restart when you fall. Repeat forever. So here's your vow. Say it out loud if you're alone. Say it in your mind if you're not. I am done waiting. I am done planning. I am done hiding behind reasons that sound good but lead nowhere. I take the wheel today. I own my choices. I honor my word. I build the life I want through daily decisions that most people aren't willing to make. I choose discipline over comfort, action over intention, truth over delusion. I will fall. I will fail. I will have bad days. And I will get back up. Every single time. No one is coming. That's my power. And I'm done wasting it. This is you versus your excuses. You know what to do. Now go win this battle. You've reached the end of this book. But this is just the beginning of the real work. Everything you've read means nothing if you don't apply it. So before you close this and move on to the next thing, do one action from chapter 2. Right now. 2 minutes. Prove to yourself that this time is different. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Not because they're broken, but because they're ready. The battle is daily. The victory is built one choice at a time. Success starts when you take the wheel. Now drive. Stop planning. Start winning. It's you versus your excuses. And you just learned how to win.